morning, a man named Juan Orlando Hernandez was freed from United States Penitentiary Hazleton in West Virginia. Now, you may have heard of him. He's the former president of Honduras, and he had been sentenced in a U.S. criminal court to 45 years in prison for, according to prosecutors, quote, helping to facilitate the importation of an almost unfathomable 400 tons of cocaine to this country and billions of individual doses sent to the U.S. with the protection and support of the former president of Honduras. This act of clemency, this pardoning, this freeing of a man who received millions of dollars in bribes to help 400 tons of cocaine come to the United States comes at the same time that President Trump and the Pentagon are waging this war against narco traffickers allegedly coming from Venezuela. Strikes, military strikes that are of questionable and debatable legality. So why on earth would President Trump do this? Well, here was his explanation on Air Force One.
The people of Honduras really thought he was set up and it was a terrible thing. He was the president of the country. And they basically said he was a drug dealer because he was the president of the country. And they said it was a Biden administration setup. And I looked at the facts and I agreed with them.
So President Trump is calling this a Biden administration setup. That is not accurate. In fact, this investigation into Hernandez started years ago during the Biden administration. But then Hernandez's own brother was arrested and prosecuted during the first Trump administration. And in fact, the prosecutor of Hernandez's brother was Emile Beauvais, who went on to become President Trump's own personal attorney and is now a judge appointed by President Trump. This idea that this was a Biden setup, there's no evidence for that at all. Now, what there is evidence for is that if you have a connection to somebody in Trump's inner circle, in this case, Roger Stone, who is an on and off again political advisor to President Trump, and you convince that person to reach out to Trump and say, hey, this was all just Biden lawfare. I didn't do anything wrong. He seems to be very inclined to listen to that argument regardless of the facts, regardless of the evidence. And now we have proof that regardless of the crime, because if drugs are really such a horrible issue in this country, and they are, why would you pardon somebody who helped to bring 400 million tons of cocaine and billions of individual doses of cocaine to the United States? As Republican Senator Bill Cassidy posted on X the other day, why would we pardon this guy and then go after Maduro for running drugs into the United States? Lock up every drug runner. Don't understand why he is being pardoned. Well, you're not alone, Senator Cassidy. There are a lot of people who do not understand why this happened.